That'd be absolutely devastating.
This is Joey Owens' show. They've been trying to get me on this broadcast forever, and this is the worst damn broadcast I've ever been on. So you all can kiss my ass while I win this match.
All right, what's happening, everybody? Welcome to G.W.R. Gonzo'S Wrestling Room. I'm Chris Gonzalez, joined by Tony Gonzalez. How you doing tonight?
Just happy to be alive.
Oh, you're gonna live that up for a while. Also joined by Marcus Fine. How you doing tonight, Marcus?
I'm hanging in there. I'm doing all right.
We got special guests.
Deep in here before we even get started. So,
Got special guest, former pro wrestler and also host and owner of Heated Shenanigans podcast, Scott Hulett. How you doing tonight, Scott?
I'm doing great, guys. Hey, thank you guys for having me.
Oh man, pleasure to have you. I'm glad you come on, and you're always welcome anytime.
All right, Dad, I'll let you get started so I can
Okay.
check the sound and everything, and then we'll go from there.
Okay. Well, Scott, first of all, where are you from?
Well, I am from Lafayette, Indiana. I've been here my whole life, and as a good friend of mine once said, it's a great place to live if you've never lived anywhere else.
How long? What got you into pro wrestling?
Oh, God. Well, I wish I had an exciting story to give you of being second generation or third or anything of that nature, but unfortunately mine is just as tried and true as everybody else. Mine started when I was 2 years old. I was watching Nature Boy Ric Flair and Sting with my grandfather, and it was one of those moments where I had turned to my grandfather and I pointed to the screen. I said, I want to be just like him, and it was the Stinger.
We've had a lot of people. Sting has been a motivation for a lot of people. I think TBS had a lot to do with that, being everywhere. But yeah, a lot of Stings, a lot of Shawn Michaels,
Jeff Hardy.
A lot of Jeff Hardys too. Yeah, and you can see the age difference
Yep.
too. The ones that say Jeff Hardy and the ones that say Shawn Michaels or Sting. So, how long have you been a pro wrestler? Which I don't know. Are you still actively wrestling anymore, or are you completely done?
No, I'm out. I had wrestled 7 years. I think that sounds right. 7, 8 years.
And what year did you start?
Oh, 06, I believe. 05, 06. 06. Marcus says 06.
Marcus was probably not. What was the hardest thing for you to learn when you got into pro wrestling?
Patience. That was the hardest thing to learn, was patience. Everything in wrestling comes with time, hard work, and practice. There's no one size fits all to professional wrestling. Everybody learns at their own speed. Everybody picks it up differently. Some take longer than others. But I would definitely say patience.
Who trained you?
I actually had quite a few hands in my training. Sean Cook was there in the beginning, Guy Lombardo, Brian the Beast Roberts. Had a couple of teaching lessons with Billy Rock. I mean, really, like I've learned from so many people, but the guy that really took the time and really got me into professional wrestling was Brian Roberts. He has a great school, and he's still running to this day.
Oh, where's that school at?
Well, I don't know if Brian's actually training anymore. He might be. I'm not 100% sure. It was in Lafayette, Indiana. He was running when it was just BMF.
Okay.
Before they added the X to it.
Yeah. Okay. Favorite wrestling move that you grew up liking as a kid. Also, the favorite wrestling move that you did in the ring, and a move that you just didn't care for. A move that you thought, why do people do this, or maybe even didn't like taking it.
say move growing up as a kid, definitely the Scorpion Deathlock. My brother felt that a few times. In wrestling, that's a really good question. I would say probably Nigel McGuinness's The Tower of London, which is a modified RKO from the ropes. And one move that I was not comfortable taking, probably a back body drop. You don't have any control. It's a scary move to take because you're really reliant on that person to get your feet over so you don't spike yourself.
Yeah. And one thing I've noticed lately, even on TV wrestling and also on the independents, not seeing a lot of that anymore.
Yeah, that's quite a few wrestlers say that about the back body drop.
You're not seeing that back body drop like you used to. It used to be, in the 80s, it was done pretty much every match, but I don't. There's probably shows that we go to and we don't see it.
Yeah,
and maybe because of that. I mean, one thing that you love about the wrestling business and one thing that you dislike about the wrestling business.
Well, I would say one thing that I love would just be the atmosphere. Just being around the fans, the locker room. It's very addicting to be around professional wrestling, especially if you have a passion for it. One thing that I dislike, and again, I'm not saying anything that hasn't already been said. I'm not reinventing the wheel. Politics is it's a big one. It can take a good locker room and really divide it.
Yeah. I've unfortunately, of course, we're not in the business, but we've been in some shows, and here recently, we've seen it show its ugly head, and some, I think, some cause a company to make some piss poor decisions, in my opinion, for I think jealousy and just this maybe old school mentality, which I'm not going to argue with people if old school's right or wrong. Times change, things change, like it or not. There's some things that change that need to change, and probably some things that don't need to change. So, the politics and stuff can be an issue, unfortunately, and people make some bad decisions. Probably on both sides, wrestlers and promoters. Marcus, would you like to ask some questions?
All right. You were part of the third year, right? Sean and Guy's third year. Who else did you train with? Jason Almos was one, right? Is that his name? Who's your tag team partner?
Oh, that was Cage Stevens, Steven Almos.
Steven. I knew that name wasn't right. And you guys are the only two still left, right? Really at training.
Well, no. Tony Jacks, I believe, is still out there. Well, I think he actually recently called it a career. John McDaniel, Gideon.
I wasn't sure. I wasn't aware that you guys all trained together.
He's incredibly underrated. He's a very, very good big man.
Yeah. So I couldn't remember who all trained out of that third one. I knew you wasn't in Jeremy Hadley and Kenneth James's group, but I was trying to think who was next.
Well, we were part of Brian Roberts' first class that he did when he took over BMF full time, and he launched his own.
That's right. I forgot about that too. Where he bought out CWF and Okay, now I'm going to ask you a question that we'll see if you remember. Do you remember where we first met? Where, what, and what the unique situation behind it was?
I want to
quiz.
Put me on the spot
there's a
here.
unique reason for this that I asked, because there was a reason he was in a situation at the time. So,
was it at BMF?
No.
Wasn't it? Where was it, Marcus?
Kokomo,
I've been hitting the head
it
since
was
then.
Chad Cross was the rest. You were managing Damian Black. And what was unique about you at that time?
I had my jaw broken.
Your jaw was wire checked, and you're like, I'm Scott Storm. Tell us the story behind the broken jaw.
Oh, man. Well, I want to preface this by saying that this was a complete accident. This was not done with any ill intent. Jamie Crisis is a tremendous person. And he would not willingly hurt anybody in a professional wrestling ring or in real life for that matter. It was a tag team match at BMF. It was me and Jeremy Hadley against Kenneth James and Jamie Crisis. And Jamie had given me a snapmare and he told me to stay seated. And when he came off the ropes, he kneed me for real. And it was so hard that he spun me from a seated position onto my stomach. And it was one of those, I knew I was messed up, but I didn't know how bad. I remember trying to push myself up and like I couldn't lift my jaw up. It just hung open and I had blood like kind of running out a little bit. And when Jamie picked me up, he's like, "Are you okay?" And I shook my head. I couldn't really talk. And I said, we need to go home. So we get to the corner, he's working me over. The finish was supposed to be Martin Fernandez slides in some brass knucks and I was to pop Jamie with him. He slid the knucks in, but I am so out of it because I had a concussion from it. I pick up the knucks and like I'm stumbling and bumbling around. I'm not really sure. And I finally see someone that looks like Jamie and I hit him and I just drop 1, 2, 3. We were supposed to have a spot at the end of the match, but I just ended up going to the back because I knew something wasn't right. Turns out I get to home hospital. I had broken my jaw in 5 places. But again, I want to reiterate that this was a complete accident. Jamie had no intention of doing this. Matter of fact, the very next day, he showed up at my house at 6 a.m. with $50, a Jamie Crisis t-shirt, and a protein shake.
Yeah, Jamie's a good man. I know he wouldn't have done that. Yeah.
Yeah, in the ring, I mean, I'm sure, a lot of times that you guys are doing it and you're trying to do it hard, trying to make it look as real as you can, and it's going to happen. Unfortunately,
accidents are going to happen.
It's going to happen. It's surprisingly, it don't happen more than what it does, probably. And a lot of it we probably just don't hear about.
Correct.
Marcus, you want to continue? You got any more?
How did the Heated Shenanigans podcast come about then? Did you? Yeah. How did that come about?
Well, there's been a couple iterations of the podcast. The first one started many years ago. It was just called Four Corners Podcast. And then after a little bit more research, found out there's like 8 of those. So we kind of took a hiatus, kind of went our separate ways, did some stuff, came back. 2 of the other guys were in the group. They couldn't make the commitment. They had real life things come up. Just real life happens. No hard feelings. And they went out and did their own thing. And Colin and I are the ones running it primarily right now. It started with Colin and I, our idea, and we're the main ones right now running it. But we have a lot of people that help us a lot. Like Tommy Gage has helped us tremendously. He's been a great help. Driving on the road with us, helping us set up, helping us run the events. Like he was very valuable to us. Dre Baxter, one of the best guys you could ever have to help run an event. Obviously my wife helps. It's really no just one person that gets all the credit. It's a team effort, and I would be very remiss if I didn't mention my partner, Mike King, Jared Bird, incredible influence. And we're both learning stuff. And again, you never stop learning. You make mistakes, and it's learning from them throughout the course of making them. But Mike King is one of the best people that you could really be associated with and work with. And he has been not just a partner, but he's been a tremendous friend.
Yeah, I would second that 100% about Mike. And you guys are doing some really good things. I like a lot of the stuff that you guys are doing. I was going to ask you, being a pro wrestler yourself and then getting into this and being involved also in pro wrestling again in this way. How's that? How do I say this correctly? How's that changed your outlook or how you view the wrestling business? Because I was a fan, been a fan forever, and now doing announcing and doing some things very small in the wrestling business, but it's changed my outlook of it even. So I was wondering how that changed your outlook and what your take on things.
That's an excellent question. For me, in my experience, I would say you kind of stop and you kind of just reassess a lot of things. Um, Not everybody is who they appear. Um,
Mm.
when you, especially like when you're setting up like meet and greets and you're working with talent, I've never ran into a case of this person was horrible. I'm regretting working with them. Everybody that I've worked with, from Victoria to Francine, Shane Douglas, Sandman, they have all been tremendously. Elijah Burke have all been great and very helpful. And I've learned something from every one of them. Um, I don't think it's really changed my passion or my view for professional wrestling. Um, I would say, if anything, it really helped me to understand more aspects of it.
Okay. Yeah, yeah, I get that. I mean, it changed uh maybe pulled the curtain back a little bit, just a little bit, going to shows, and I've got to see training. I've got to see something I probably wouldn't have got to see before. I've got to see meetings, talent meetings where the guy that's running the show, the promoter's doing talent meetings. I've got to see that or hear it, see it and hear it. So it definitely pulled the curtain back, and it's definitely give more respect even which I had a great respect before because I know these guys put their body on the line and everything, but it's changed my outlook and not for at all for the bad, definitely for the good. Um, and it also humanizes the people. I mean, on TV, these guys are of course humans, but you're seeing them as their character, this or that. When you go to the independent shows, uh, especially some where the guys, as soon as we walk in the building, they're either offering to help carry stuff in or they're coming shaking our hands. Especially 2 or 3 shows that we go to, companies that we go to. Just the respect level that they've been taught is just phenomenal, and I think they really. I don't know that the fans realize how much these guys do appreciate them because I think the wrestlers, at least most of them, I mean, I know that they really appreciate the fans, and and it comes off to me that way.
Mhm.
Marcus, what being around the wrestlers and stuff, what do you think about that?
No, I agree. Um, we're just as well known to the wrestlers basically before we are with the crowd. Those wrestlers love us.
Yeah,
Man, we wouldn't be where we're at today if it wasn't for them. So,
yeah, you got companies calling you to come to their shows.
out of states now, yeah, we're
Yeah, out of
crossing the
states.
border. So
So
we just hit our third promoter in Kentucky. We got a third guy down there now. So yeah, it's fantastic.
And I think also it makes you like when you're watching matches, like you notice little things that maybe I didn't used to notice before.
yeah,
Just because I've been around, just being around it more, and then seeing some of the training and stuff, you might notice little things that I don't think I noticed before when I would just watch it before we started
yeah.
doing this.
And I thought that there wasn't a move that I'd never seen. And actually at DCCW this past weekend, I seen somebody do a move I've never seen before. I said, where did that come from? I mean, I'd never seen that before. So that's surprising that they can still come up with new stuff. Uh, yeah, I really enjoy doing this, and it's definitely been a blessing to get involved in this stuff. So, and it wasn't something planned for me. He was doing the podcast, kind of like you. Had a couple guys that was involved, and they kind of backed off of it, and he was left by himself. So, of course, I love professional wrestling, so I jumped in. So it's worked out pretty well.
What's been the hardest part of getting your the podcast going and getting it to the point of where it is today?
Oh, oh, it feels like I run into a different challenge every day. So, um, the hardest part really, because again, our biggest goal is reaching 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, which I'm sure you guys share that goal as well.
Yep.
And I mean, we're doing pretty good. We're almost at 800, and it's with a lot of hard work and word of mouth. And really, it's just understanding that when you meet a setback, that's just what it is. It's a setback. It's not the end of the road. There's going to be something else coming up, and you've got to keep working as hard as you possibly can, because professional wrestling doesn't stop. There's new stories every day. There's something intriguing happening. There's a convention every weekend. Actually, Mike had sent me an email the other day, and it was a 38-page email with 50 conventions per page. There are 1,900 conventions in the United States every year. And that's a lot.
Yes.
And it's really our goal, our biggest goal when we go to any type of convention is to bring the very best that we can for the fans. Because we're booking these talents to appear for the fans, because we're trying to give them the experience that they've always wanted. Not every day are you going to be able to go and meet Sandman or Francine or Shane Douglas, but when you get the opportunity, we want to make it mean something. We're not going to rush you through the line as soon as you get your money. We want you to have that moment, that interaction. Take a couple of minutes, talk to them. We want to be different and provide the experience that fans want.
Yeah, I get that. That's good. I mean, I've got different views on the. I'm a little bit different. I guess I'm a little tighter with my money. I don't know if I want to go pay for autographs and stuff like that, but I know a lot of fans do, and I think that's awesome because you don't get the opportunities, and it's better for that kind of setting than people running up on these people coming off airplanes and stuff like that, because I know that people get upset, but these people, I mean, they're
human as well.
They're human. They could have traveled for 10 hours. They could have done 2 or 3 shows the past weekend. They could be hurt. People don't think about that. You know, they could be hurting, and you go up on them, and it may not be the best experience. But if you get into a more controlled experience, I think the conventions are awesome, and I think you're doing a great thing.
Let's say the one thing I think really goes a long way in this, and it's been an issue in recent weeks, and that's with individuals bombarding talent at airports. That's not the place. I understand that you might be excited and this might be your only opportunity, but what you had just mentioned is you've got to take into consideration they're people just like us. They have bad days. They have troubles at home, trouble in their personal life. And don't shove a camera in their face like, will you sign this for me? Because it may not go so well.
Yeah. And also what you're asking them to sign. If you're asking them to sign box stuff, they in their mind, they're thinking you're just trying to make money off of them. Also, it's one thing if you want to maybe take a picture on a cell phone, with a cell phone or something, that might be a little bit different thing. But
and plus in a controlled environment like that, like
yes.
at a convention, it's safer for everybody.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Safer for the talent. They don't have to worry about just getting bombarded.
And and you would think,
and you're going to get a better experience because they're there. That's what they're there to do. They're not trying to get home after being on the road for 3 days.
Let's face it, an airport or a parking lot somewhere, you don't know what type of person's coming up on you. At the conventions, you've got security, you've got many people around. It's going to be a better situation for that talent. It's going to be a better situation for everybody. I know people don't like to wait in lines and probably don't want to spend the money, but it's definitely better for everybody involved and give everybody a better experience. And if that person knows that they're there to be at the convention, I mean, they're going to be in a better mindset to sign autographs and give a better experience to somebody than they are if they're in a parking lot somewhere trying to get home.
Well, and then they get paid for what they do.
These
these wrestlers aren't in the business for free. When they're getting bombarded at an airport and handed 50 pictures, say, here, sign all these. They're not in it for free. They need their money too. That's the whole point behind it. So,
yeah.
I mean, there's even a story where somebody walked up on Arn Anderson's house and knocked on his door at 7:00 in the morning. I mean, so
I'd be walking up to nobody's house at 7:00 in the morning if I didn't know him.
No. Well, we know what time it is, Marcus.
Yeah, my clock went off. I'm so used to hearing that I don't even think about it. But so you've
Yeah,
had some
not
big
true.
names on your podcast. Ramble off a few of those. I mean,
Victoria. We've had Francine, Shane Douglas, Al Snow, Larry Zabisco. Oh God, now I have to sit here and think about him. We have Ariel, Shelly Martinez coming up. We've got a couple more because I don't like announcing them until I've actually squared it away with them. We got some big ones coming. The expo has been quite generous to us. And also Mike King, again, I sing his praises even more. Like that man bust his butt to help not only his company but the podcast, and he's incredibly selfless. And I can't say enough nice things about Mike. We've had Rikishi on the podcast, Elijah Burke. I'm actually in talks with a couple other people right now, but I mean, we got a lot of cool stuff on there. If you're into like shoot interviews, and this isn't like, how did you, what do you hate about wrestling? What was your least favorite match with so-and-so? Because I know you hate them. We try to dig into their career and find gems that are not talked about as much. Like when it comes to, I was trying to think of a really, really good one. Because we had Teddy Long on, and a lot of people want to bring up the SmackDown history, which I mean that's great. He was a great general manager, but Teddy has so many stories. And we, like I said, we got a lot of interviews coming up. I'm going to be incredibly busy in the coming months. Ted DiBiase is scheduled to be on next week. It doesn't stop. And we're doing this because we want to provide something for our viewers, for wrestling fans. We want to give them a great experience and something good to watch. And we try to keep all of our stuff short, not just because it's better financially, but the attention span of a lot of people is shortened, and we want to make sure that it's easy to digest for them.
Yeah, that makes sense. I'm gonna put you on the spot though. So far, of the people you've had, can you give me a favor? Did you just? I mean, for you, I'm not trying to throw. He said he liked me, but I'm not trying to put you in that. But just personally, hey, this one really stood out to me. I mean, so it maybe surprised you or anything like that.
Well, if we're talking surprise, it's definitely Victoria. We were doing the signing up at PWK, and somebody had said something about GAW TV, and they loved seeing her on GAW TV. And then she turns to me and she says, "Well, you're going to see me on Heated Shenanigans pretty soon." And I was like, yes, you are. Just can't wait to get the date. I found out right then and there, as long as that gentleman found out as well. And Victoria is a tremendously kind person, and she is somebody that deserves every nice thing in the world to happen to her. And she's probably, if I got to pick a favorite, I would, no disrespect or anything to anybody else, but I got to pick Victoria.
Yes, she definitely, in my opinion, deserves to be in the WWE Hall of Fame. Should have went in probably before a few others have went in, but I mean, that's again politics. So, but hopefully she'll go in very soon because she's deserving. She's great in the ring. She was great in Impact. She's been great wherever she's been. So, and I know she's been doing some work for Impact again here recently. So.
Yeah, we had talked about when she's going to go in, and she is very much of the mindset of when they call me is when they think it's time. She doesn't blow up their phone. She doesn't make any type of snide remarks on social media. She's very respectful, and it's, for me, it would be very emotional when she goes in because of how much I value her friendship and just Victoria as a person.
Okay. Any people that you would on your list that you would like to work with that you haven't got the opportunity to?
That's a loaded question.
A big list, but Is there one that stands out? Is there one that's I mean, that's your bucket list person?
Bucket list
For
person.
wrestling? Is this for wrestling or for his podcast?
I'm saying more for the podcast since his but we'll go both. If you just go podcast, and also if you had one more match, we're gonna put you in Madison Square Garden.
Oh, that's the biggest one he's done. He normally does a 10,000 seat arena, but
Yeah, we're
you
gonna
made
go
it
Madison.
MSG, so
Well, we've been talking about Madison Square Garden lately, so I'm gonna throw that in there. Madison Square Garden main event.
Guess that I could have on the podcast. I'll answer that one first. I would have to go with Sting, obviously. I think that'd be the default choice for me. To work with in person, I would say Ricky Steamboat. Just a lot of respect for what Ricky's accomplished. All-time great in professional wrestling. Final match. Goodness, there's so many good people out there to choose from. God, Eric Dillinger's so freaking good at everything he does. Billy Rock. God, there's so many. Nate Matthews, but I think Nate Matthews, just because of how much I respect Nate's work and his contributions to wrestling, and I think it's a matter of time before somebody notices him in one of those big 3-letter companies, and hopefully it's soon, because I love Nate Matthews to death.
To go back what we was talking about, that's another thing that surprised me about the independent wrestling is how many people are just around the Indiana area. Marcus even knows because he goes to Illinois and Kentucky and how he sees even more talent. How many people that are really, really good. And in my opinion, and of course, I'm just seeing this person on TV. I've not seen their career prior to that. I think there's people on this independent scene that are as good or better than some of the people that have spots on TV. I mean, and I'm not trying to put anybody down that's on TV. They made their way there. I'm sure they deserve to be there. And there's only so many spots. So I guess that's part of the problem. But it's so many good, young, talented people, and some older, some younger, that are really, really good and deserve that opportunity. But it is what it is. I mean, it's like anything else. Sometimes it's who you know, if you're in the right place at the right time. All kinds of things go into that. But yeah, I was really shocked over the last year how talented Indiana, because that's what we see. Well, we've been to Cincinnati once. How good the talent was.
I'll tell you one though that finally got her call up, and that's Billy Starks. And I'm telling you, and the best thing is, she is incredibly young, and she's this good. Can you imagine 5 years from now in that AEW locker room with all the good teaching that she has at her fingertips right now? I'm very excited to see where her career goes, and I think they got one heck of a pick in Billy Starks.
I want to ask your opinion on this because yeah, it's great. I think it's a great pickup for AEW. Of course, Marcus and Chris has heard me say this. I would have preferred to went to NXT because of the training with Shawn Michaels and them there. That was just my personal opinion. Like I have any say in it, yeah. Which, of course, I know I don't. But I seen her match with Tony Storm. I seen her match with Jade Cargill. She's good as most of the people they have over there right now, and she's 18. And then I got to see a behind-the-scenes interview that she did, and she just came off the camera. I mean, just came off the screen, the sparkle in her eye, her words. She's got it, and she's going to be, I think, a megastar. I think that who knows how far. Hopefully AEW don't mess it up. I hope they don't. I don't know how they can, but I've seen a few of their decisions. Wardlow, a couple others. I hope they don't mess this up because I think she could be definitely the biggest women's star they have, and maybe the biggest star.
Well, she's incredibly young. She's what, 18?
Oh, I know she's 18,
and I mean, there's a good chance maybe it doesn't work out in AEW, but WWE picks her up.
Yep.
The sky's the limit for her. She literally has the world in the palm of her hands.
Yes.
And I said, 5 years from now, like she's not even, and this isn't a disrespectful comment, like she's not even close to what her prime's going to be, and she's this good already.
Yeah.
5-10 years from now, she has the potential to be in the conversation with the Trishes and the Charlottes and the Beckys of the world.
Yes.
But remember, like, and this is the other thing, like, she's young. It's going to take time for her to absorb everything because she's dealing with a lot. She's got a lot on her plate. And if she doesn't pick it up right away, you can't fault her. I mean, she's really young. Just give her the time, let her blossom, and you're going to be immensely impressed.
Mm-hmm.
Another the matches that you mentioned with Tony Storm and Cargill, she looked like she belonged.
Yeah.
I mean, she didn't look out of place at all. And honestly, I think in ring wise, she might be better than Cargill.
I think
in ring wise, but I know Cargill has the experience to look.
She's got
just
more
in ring.
She's got more experience than Cargill. Cargill's not, it's a different. She's a different animal. She's more of a Goldberg type. That I think she's going to be a huge star. So I'm not putting her down in any way. It's just a different situation. Do you have a favorite match that you had when you was wrestling? Also, favorite opponent?
Oh God, favorite opponent's Tommy Gage. He can make me laugh. I mean, he pantsed me in the middle of the ring in front of God and everybody on an outdoor show. Marcus, I think you might have been there for that.
Yeah, I forgot, but I was.
He was trying to forget that.
I've had so many matches against Section 8 with various tag partners on my end, and all of them have been incredibly enjoyable. So favorite opponent definitely up there would be Tommy. Bret Havoc would be another one. And what was the other part of the question? I'm sorry.
I don't remember it now. Don't remember my own question.
Come on,
Chris, help me out, man.
I don't.
You wouldn't pay attention.
I don't remember your question now. I was paying attention to what he was saying.
Oh, your favorite match and favorite opponent.
Oh yes, favorite match. I would say it would have to be the first ever tag team I quit match at BMFX, where it was Cage Stevens and myself against Vinny Vichetti and Damian Minister, Tony Jacks. We sold out BMFX. It was an incredibly violent match. We beat the tar out of one another, and it was probably the third time I ever worked Vinny Vichetti, and I absolutely love Vinny. He is everything that you would want in a heel, and then some. And he really helps get a good story over because he knows how to tell a story. But I think that tag team I quit match was probably the favorite one that I've ever done.
And that was just last year, wasn't it?
That was what now?
That was just last year, wasn't it?
Oh, might be 2 years ago by now, I believe.
Oh, yeah, because we're 2 years out past COVID now. Yeah, okay. Could have been 21, yeah.
I haven't had a chance. I think I've asked one other person this. How is it to take body shots from Vinny Vichetti?
It sucks.
Yeah.
I'll tell you the same thing I told him in the ring. Like after the third punch, I leaned in. I was like, dude, it's a work. Like you can ask anybody he's been in the ring with.
Yeah.
He will pepper you, and you just want to knock him out.
Mm-hmm.
Lovingly knock him out.
He told us one day, I think Marcus was there, we was eating lunch together, and he told us, he said, one thing I do, I lay in the body shots. And he told us that. And I think I'm trying to remember who else told us that. Oh,
Buck Sexton.
Yeah.
He told us, he said, man.
He got me pretty good. My ribs on my right side were pretty bruised for a couple of weeks afterwards. He got me good. He got me real good.
Out there on the independents, because I know you've been at some shows and things, is there anybody that stands out to you? Of course, Billy Starks just got signed. Is there anybody that you, in your opinion, maybe you can give me more than one name, male or female, that you think could be in your opinion, I mean, that could be the next ones that, hey, have that chance to move up?
Eric Dillinger. That's for me, that's number one. Number two, Nate Matthews, Matt Brannigan. All three of those guys are incredibly gifted, and I'm just in awe watching them, especially Dillinger. What he can do for his size and just his mobility in the ring. I mean, he was trained by Billy Rock, so I don't expect anything less than the absolute best. But for me, Eric Dillinger is probably the guy. If I had to pick, if he stays with it 5 years from now, wouldn't shock me one bit if he's in AEW.
Marcus, I'm gonna put you on the spot. Can you give me a couple names that you, in
Yeah,
your opinion?
you know one. Shane Mercer, Jack Vaughn. That's my two right now.
Yeah.
Because
Jacksonville.
yeah, and Shane Mercer, he's a beast. I don't know why he's not anywhere now, because they could use him a whole different way.
Yeah, I don't understand why Jake Oman's not somewhere.
Jake Oman's another one, yes.
I don't get wrestle. Seen him wrestle many years ago in the early 2000s. Yeah, he's outstanding. I don't get why he's not already been up. I think, like he said, 5 years from now, I think G.W.R could be one. Another guy that's really came on in the last 6 months and impressed me. And
Dutch boy.
Dutch Boy Platinum is just exploding to me off the screen, you know, whatever how you want to put it, but he really looks good. I really like Rachel Armstrong. She's got to work on the mic, but she's got that natural charisma. And there's a lot of others too. So I'm not trying to.
Yeah,
the
highlight reel.
The highlight reel too. I think has got it too. Definitely.
If I was AEW, because I don't think WWE would take a serious look at him because they already have a set of twins that are main eventing.
Yep.
But the highlight reel, just impeccable. I've been in the ring with them on several occasions.
Yep.
They are everything that they were advertised as being, and it's a testament to how damn good Joey Owens is as a trainer.
Oh yeah,
Yeah. Don Basher had a hand on them too. So.
Yep.
Yeah.
Don Basher as well, and Joey. Yeah. Just up there with Billy Rock in terms of cranking out quality talent for the independent scene. Rachel, Dex, the highlight reel, you can keep going. Like, Joey knows his stuff, and he's a hell of a trainer.
Yes, I agree, and Jake Oman's part of that too, because he's working with Joey too. So definitely.
And I agree with the Nate Matthews and Dillinger. We've seen them both a lot. They're real good. Both are real good as well.
The thing that surprises me, because I watch everything, and I watch a lot of NWA, and they're going right. The last couple of shows I've watched in the pay-per-views, they're going a lot. I wonder if Vince ain't booking for them, because they're finding all these great big, I mean, just humongous dudes that are 6'6", 350, and it seems like he's going that route. I think he would be better served to go out and raid these, for lack of a better word, raid these independents and put this young talent on his shows and showcase it. I think that he would. I think he could grab a audience quicker. I really believe that, because using some of the older names, what's the guy he's using now that's in the political stuff? He was the dancing dinosaur in WWE, and his name's not Brodus Clay. Yeah, he. I don't think that's the name he's going by now, but that's the name I remember, because in WWE, he's their champion, and he's a big guy, but he's also on Fox News. So I think he's using, that tie-in to try to help himself. But I think if he would go out and get some of this young talent, I mean, I know what Indiana's got, but what is there all these other areas got? I think if he would go out and do that and go young, I think he'd have a better opportunity. But
I think Dalton Love's another one that in 5 years could be somewhere.
Yeah, Dalton's doing really well, and
just keeps improving and improving.
A thing on Billy Rock, I don't know if you guys know this, but Basher and Joey trained him in the early 2000s. So Billy Rock is actually a prodigy of Don Basher and Joey Owens.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I wasn't aware of that.
Billy Rock was going to Purdue and traveling to Indy to train with Basher. He was part of the Lafayette Superfans. He'd bring his whole fan club with him. And he'd be at ringside in Lafayette. He'd be doing commentary in Indianapolis. Then all of a sudden one day he's in the ring, and well, now we know the story behind him now. But yeah, Basher and Joey Owens had a was Billy Rock's trainer. So
Yeah, Daniel Fuel helped me out. His name now in the NWA is Tyrus.
Tyrus.
Yeah, I couldn't remember that name. I'm old and names kind of leave me sometimes. And also, I take a lot of blows to the head, But
Oh man, ain't gonna let me live it down, are you?
no way. The best decision that you've made in your wrestling career, and the worst decision you made in your wrestling career.
Ooh,
And also, let's put that into your podcast too. Best decision you made and worst decision.
best decision I ever made in professional wrestling. Probably agreeing to tag with Steven. It is a very special part of my run. And all those matches meant a lot. I knew that was something he was wanting to do for some time, and I was happy that we could do it. And I was happy that we could have the memories that we had. Probably biggest mistake. I mean, I won't be too proud to sit here and say it. I was really hard to get along with in the early days. I thought I knew more than what I did, and it got me into a lot of trouble. And I mean, I learned from it, and I've made amends with the individuals that affected. That would probably be my actual in-ring career. Best decision with the podcast, probably moving it to YouTube. Well, I take that back. Sending Mike King the text message, would you want to work together? I think that's been the best one, because that, again, there is so much of this podcast that does not exist if it's not for Mike. And wherever we go, whatever heights we reach, Mike is the majority shareholder for the thanks. I would say probably the biggest mistake so far with the podcast, being too hasty on stuff. Again, patience is something that I still work with to this day, and I'm not perfect. I make mistakes. I am not going to sit here and say that I don't. Just being a little bit more patient and letting things come to me. That would probably be my answer for those.
Patience can be a tough thing sometimes, I think. I mean, because you're trying to accomplish something and you want to accomplish it, and you just, it's hard to be patient and lay back and let it come to you sometimes. Yeah, I can see that. And as far as Mike King, you can't oversell that enough. Mike,
we wouldn't be doing what we're doing if it wasn't for Mike King. So
on a couple of different levels, and also I know Mike's connections, and also, and that's a big help. I guarantee that. But Mike as a person is the biggest help, and I can't oversell that enough either. I 100%.
He's a good business partner, but he's an even better friend.
Oh yeah, he's a great dude.
And Mike, if you're out there watching, I don't know who's watching this right now, but I love you.
King was, if he's watching, you'd know it.
No, you would know it if Mike was on. Yes. All those slots on there right now would be Mike King. He would be he'd be all over us.
He'd be in the comments.
I can't see any slots, so
okay. Yeah, he would.
He'd be in the comment section.
Yeah, he would be on the comment section big time.
He hasn't been yet.
Yeah, he's not bashful.
I found in the podcast stuff is you can't get too caught up on the numbers. You just gotta stay consistent, keep doing what you're doing. If you just get caught up on the numbers, then you're just never losing. It's a losing battle.
See, that's one thing that helps me, because I mean, I don't know if it helps me. I would probably help Chris if I knew more technical stuff, because I don't do technical stuff. I mean, I barely can work my phone, let alone do technical stuff. My main thing is I just have fun, and the other thing I've learned is try to keep my head out of trunks. I won't walk in front of the car or behind the car or anything. I'm not taking any chances. He may have an insurance policy or something I don't know about. So.
Oh man. Well, Scott, was there anything that we haven't talked about that you was wanting to hit on?
Wait a minute now. I had a few more now.
Oh, okay.
Calm down.
Yeah, I know a few that he forgot to ask him if he hadn't.
Yeah, I still got.
See,
Relax. See, he's
See,
trying
we
to put
told you
me-
about being hasty. Look what you're doing.
No. Be patient. Best advice you've been given in the wrestling business and maybe even the podcast business and also in life. Best piece of advice.
Best piece of advice would easily have to be from Tommy. To think and to be a better businessman. And that is something that, again, I'm new, so mistakes get made. Working on that, again, that's where the patience comes in. That's where that comes in. That's probably been the best piece of advice that I've gotten. Yeah, I think that's the best.
You're a Mount Rushmore of professional wrestlers.
Ooh, Flair, Austin, Undertaker, and probably John Cena.
What about your independents?
Billy Rock. That's the George Washington. That's number one. God, there's been so many. PT Hustler. Chad Collier.
Mm.
I'm dating myself with these, aren't I?
Yeah,
And God, the fourth one's hard. I mean, for everything that he's done on the independent scene, I'd probably have to say Sean Cook.
Marcus, have you ever been able to come up with a four?
No.
You'd have to have 30, wouldn't you?
For independents, no. Dick the Bruiser would be number one, but he's more territorial.
Yeah.
But no, I can't do that. I've seen too many people. There's just too many to be on that mountain. It'd be more like a yearbook photo than anything.
Do you have a favorite other than Dick the Bruiser?
Dice Man. Yeah, I've always liked Dice Man. And funny thing is, number two is the Itch. I fell in love with Dice Man because of the way he carried himself and handled himself the first time I seen him. And the same way with Itch, the first time I seen him. It was actually at an EWF show, believe that or not. In fact, it was my first EWF show I'd ever attended, and Itch was on it. And just the way he interacted with the crowd, and yeah, those are my top two. And then Basher, I love Basher. So I guess I am throwing one together, aren't I?
Yeah, he is.
Chad Collier, that was a name. He wrestled under a hood there for a while too, but I can't think.
Metal Master.
Yeah, and now he's like an illusionist. He does like magic and mind reading things now. And PT, have you guys ever met PT? Wrestler?
I haven't met him, but I got to see
We've
him
seen him
wrestle.
we've seen him a few times.
Yeah, great man. Him and Devon were simply marvelous. A great tag team at the time, and PT's got a good mind on him. So
I got to see him at New Era, wasn't it?
Probably,
New
yes.
Era
yes,
and somewhere else.
Yeah. Okay.
Forget where else now. Yeah, we've seen him at New Era. I think maybe New Era twice.
Thomas
Yeah, he
Flynn
was
was wanting to know. Thomas Flynn was wanting to know who your favorite wrestler was, which I think you already kind of said.
Yeah, it was Sting growing up.
Yes. Yeah.
And still to this day. Though I do
It's-
love me some Nigel McGuinness. That's another one.
Yeah.
He just got signed by AEW.
Yes, he did.
Beast brought him in one time at BMFX, or maybe in Sean Guy, but he wrestled there, Really Brothers, one time, and yeah. Boy, you guys missed a lot with Really Brothers, I'm telling you.
Really?
Yeah, because that used to be the hotbed in Lafayette before it sold out. Now it's a dump, but yeah.
Any hobbies?
Outside of the podcast, I would say probably playing with my daughter. She's really big into Roblox, however you pronounce it.
Yeah.
We play that quite frequently. Video games. I enjoy spending time with my family. That's not professional wrestling. And I told my daughter at the expo, I said, I want you to sit around and look at the room that you're in. At your age, I would have killed someone for this opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
I said, Abby, on your weekends, you spend them with former and ex WWE AEW stars. And I said, I don't think you appreciate what you got. And she just loves all the girl wrestlers. Rachel Armstrong is her favorite.
Yeah.
She will not miss a Rachel show. If we're going, she has to be there if Rachel's wrestling. If Rachel's not wrestling, she could care less if she's there.
Rachel's got a big fan there. Favorite food?
Ooh, now we're talking. I'm a big steak guy. Ribeye, medium rare, asparagus. I mean, I could do that every day of my life. Fish too. Fish is good. I love fish.
Best steak you've had at a restaurant?
Ruth Chris.
Yeah, I would hope so. You ever been to the Beef House?
I have not.
Yeah, there's another one like Ruth Chris. It's, take your pocketbook and enjoy, but you need a lot of money to eat there. So
I'm just now able to see the comments, and I saw Dre put in his ribs, and yes, those ribs are fire. Also, Tommy's Pizza Casserole, another phenomenal dish. But I mean, food, I love food.
Oh yeah, I do too. Love to eat. Barbecue is my favorite, but I love. There's not too many things I don't like.
Oh no, it just now popped up. Your comments just now popped up. That don't make a lot of sense, but
No, yeah,
technology sometimes.
What wrestler would you want to meet in person? And this is for everyone. Oh, I don't know. I've never thought about it.
Say a lot of them I've already met. So
It'd be Stone Cold Steve Austin or Ric Flair.
I'd have to go with Flair.
That would be probably the two that I haven't met. I haven't met that.
If he was still alive, it'd be Dusty Rhodes.
Yeah,
if he was still alive. But since Rhodes is not alive, I'll go Flair. How about for you, Marcus?
Hogan was my big thing during high school and stuff, and since I was there before WrestleMania 1, and it'd be Hogan.
Marcus, I don't know if you see the comments, but somebody wants to know who's going to win between Cash and Terrell, and they also
I don't know if I should say that after he done threatened me just a little bit ago.
No, he's already threatened you.
Look at the nice think wisely.
You know that Cash is my buddy, so I have to go with him. But hopefully, I get attacked. You know how they are at AACW; they will attack me in half. So
that's true.
Especially since Mike King's going to be there, so
that's true. You never know with Mike; he's kind of got a multiple personality, so he may like you, he may not like you. So,
in fact, Justin Terrell was part of the attack the last time, so it could happen. But I'm going with Cash. I know Dark Spade's going to be there to watch over me, so that's who I'm going with, Justin. I'm sorry.
That should be a fun show Saturday night.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Looking forward to eating some barbecue and going to the show.
So if you're not doing anything on Saturday, we're all going to be in Kokomo at AACW. Mike King will be there. So he'll get his ass handed to him, but he will be there.
Oh man.
Hey, Johnny Swade's my buddy. I mean, he's the one who got me into Kentucky, so I have to stay with my friends. So,
Marcus, you know that ladies' man's going to hear about this. Now you're definitely
there's
going to
no
get
doubt
attacked.
in my mind. No doubt in my mind. That's not the first time you've said that either. So,
You know, Justin also said he Shenanigans is invited.
So I'll have to make sure. My shoot job, I do work at a hospital, so sometimes getting off is a little hard.
what do you do there?
I'm a dietary associate, nutrition associate,
There at IU?
supervisor.
At IU?
Franciscan. And I'm sure they're gonna love my current request off for the end of the year that I just put in. But I got to go travel. I got shows to attend.
Well, I always thought it was Travis Southern, but okay.
He said Mike King is second in command in the prophecy. I know you believe that, but I don't know if Mike believes that, because I've heard, when he was on the show with us in Kokomo, he pretty much act like he was in command. I pretty much said he does what he wants to do. Ain't nobody telling him what he's going to do. And I'm not making that up. You can go back and watch the show.
That's when he about took our table out. I thought our laptop and all of our equipment was done that day. I thought he was flipping the table over.
Yeah, about flipped the table over, and the microphone about hit me in the head. That's what are you doing?
Have you ever been to WCWO down in Indy, Scott, at the Dub?
I unfortunately have not.
Oh, that's an experience that you need to partake in.
Yes,
I love Joey Owens to death. That would be something that if Joey's got the space for us to set up, I would love to partake of a WCWO show.
Yeah, GSR's been there 4 or 5 times now, so there's a spot back there.
I think I'm gonna have to talk to Mr. Owens.
It's a cool atmosphere, cool building.
One question I did want to ask is, in your wrestling career, what was the toughest match you ever had?
Probably finishing that match with a broken jaw.
Oh yeah.
Like I said, it's one of those, like, I knew I was really hurt. I just didn't know how bad it was until we got to the hospital. Because when they came in after they took the x-rays, they asked me, they wanted to know how it happened, and I told them what happened because I was in my wrestling gear when I went, and it wasn't close to Halloween, so I couldn't lie and say I was trick-or-treating at the tender age of 20. But definitely, when that happened, like, just, I didn't want to just get out of the ring. I made a commitment to Brian, the owner, the fans, everybody that was in the match with, to not give up on them and to give them everything that I had. And at that point, that there was not much left to give, but I gave everything that I could to give a good match and finish out. And then I went to the hospital and found out that I didn't break it in just a couple spots. It was in 5.
How long did that take to heal?
8 weeks.
Long time.
Who's the biggest name you've been in the ring with? Actually worked.
Marty Jannetty, I believe. It was a 6-man tag match at Really Brothers. It was Nick Cutler, Tony Jacks, myself, versus Kenneth James, Tommy Gage, and Marty Jannetty. Hell of a match. A lot of fun.
Was there any style of match that you never got to work that you would have liked to work?
Ooh. No, I can't say. I think all the styles that I enjoyed doing, I got to do. I don't think there's any that I missed out on.
Well, I think I'm good to go. Marcus, you got any more questions you'd like to ask?
I think I'm good for now.
Well, was there anything that we didn't hit, Scott?
Is it okay if I give a quick plug or?
Oh
Yeah,
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 yeah.
yeah.
Plug all your stuff.
Oh, well, you can find us on YouTube, which is Heated Shenanigans Podcast on YouTube. If you would please be kind enough to subscribe, we are trying to hit 1,000. We are super close to 800 right now on subscribers. We've got a lot of cool content coming up. We've got Shelly Martinez coming on. We have Ted DiBiase coming on. We've got a couple more that I can't quite announce yet because the I's and T's aren't crossed and dotted. We are on Facebook, Heated Shenanigans Podcast, on Twitter with capital HSP_ODCAST. We are on Instagram, but that's not really our primary use. We'll post on there, but not very frequently. Primarily Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. But I also want to say definitely subscribe if you're watching Gonzo's Sports Room. Definitely, if you're watching this and you haven't subscribed, guys, definitely give them a subscribe. They have been phenomenal hosts, and I see them going to so many independent shows, traveling all over the state of Indiana, really putting in the hard work. And I wish you guys nothing but the very best of luck and success.
Hey, we appreciate
We
that,
appreciate
and same to you. Hopefully, your numbers, grow. But even beyond, like Chris said, numbers not everything always. Just keep having success and having fun. I mean, having fun's important also. So, loving what you do, and hopefully you keep knocking it out of the park, because I know you're working hard at it, and I know with Mike King in your corner helping you out, I think you're going to continue to grow and do big things.
Yeah, like I said, my thing is it's not just one person with us. It's a team thing.
Oh yeah,
Oh yeah.
I can't sit here and take all the credit because I don't do all the work. I do a good amount, but I don't do all of it. I have so many people that help, and I would be here all night listing them, but they do a tremendous job of making sure that we bring forward the podcast each week, and when we go to shows, making sure everything's set up and brought and on time, and we're growing, and we're happy to bring on more people that want to help and just love professional wrestling. Whether it's independent or AEW, WWE, what have you, it's professional wrestling, and we all love it.
What's your opinion on the AEW and WWE products right now?
This might be shocking to a lot of people, but you can like both. A lot of people treat this like they're a blood or a crypt. They can't pick one.
Yep. Yes.
You can enjoy both, and you should not ridicule somebody because they like one over the other. I think WWE's in a state of flux. Like, there's a lot that's going to change, especially with the draft. This is the first time in history WWE's not been a mom and pop owned corporation, for how much sense that makes. Endeavor now has a hand in it. You still got the allegations with Vince McMahon to be resolved fully. AEW has got their own thing that they're doing, and I'm digging AEW. Like, I watch the product. I like a lot of what I see, but no company's perfect. That's why there's alternative wrestling and Impact Wrestling. Again, they've got a lot of cool things. There's something out there for everybody to enjoy when it comes to professional wrestling.
Yeah, I agree. I watch it all.
I was say he watches wrestling 7 days a week.
I watch Impact. I watch NWA. I watch MLW. I watch everything, and independents, old school. I'm on the network watching old stuff. Me and Marcus finally got Chris to try out Tuesday Night Titans.
Oh yeah, I was watching that.
He had never seen an episode, so he watched the.
Well, I might have when I was.
Well, you might have
when I was a kid,
yeah.
but not whenever I can remember. I watched a couple of them the other night. We'll keep watching them, but yeah, you're right.
He's seen that. He's seen the one Marcus with Dr. D. David Schultz.
Yep.
I think that was the very first episode. And he's in here. There's no way you could do that now.
Oh yeah, some of that stuff they were doing back then. Yeah, they'd get canceled in a heartbeat. You do that now.
Yeah, it'd be over. Yeah, I like all the products. Like I said, I think I prefer WWE, but AEW gives me enough to watch every week. I mean, it's on the channel and they're waiting for it to come on. I'll go watch it till I have to go to work. So, but I watch it all. Impact's very good. I wish Impact was on a bigger network. I think it would do much better. But yeah, I watch everything. I wish more fans would give everything an opportunity. But They just don't. Some fans don't.
And for some reason, like he said, people think you gotta pick one or the other. You can't just enjoy wrestling.
Honestly, I think most fans do. I think the problem is that with social media, the ones that get on there and bitch and complain about the other is what you hear. You don't hear about the fans who, they don't come out and say, I love both, you hear the other stuff, because social media. But,
AEW's going. They're going to London and doing a show at Wembley, so they're doing something. I mean, they're growing. They're doing something right.
They're going to do well there. So
I prefer WWE if I had to choose one, but I watch both. I watch both sometimes. I don't watch as much AEW as I do WWE. But I like watching NXT. I really enjoy the NXT product.
Yeah, I do too.
And Impact, but I watch a lot of the Game Changer wrestling. I watch more independents probably than I do anything. I watch a lot of independents on YouTube, because now I've got to know a lot of these guys. So if they're wrestling somewhere and we're not there, I try to watch the matches. So I watch a lot of independent.
Game Changer is an interesting product because you can have one match. It's a pure wrestling match. It kind of reminds me of ECW a little bit, except it's even a little more hardcore. Then the next match, here comes 50 light tubes and 20 doors, and then that's that match. And then next you got a woman against a man in a hardcore match, and then you got a pure wrestling match. So it's kind of all over the.
You never know what you're gonna get.
Well, like I said, we've about seen a guy get killed that one match.
Hoodfoot
got sliced open with 40 staples in his arm. So it was nuts.
When you break a light tube and sword fight with it, I was never. They're stabbing each other with
light tubes.
Yeah,
it was out there.
You ever do any of them death matches, Scott?
Oh, hell no.
I think you should have one more match. You and ladies.
I gotta go to work on Monday morning, and I work at a hospital. I don't want to visit it on my day off.
Scratch ladies, man. You and Tommy Gage and a light tube match.
I don't think Tommy Gage would ever do it.
Do that
no, I know he would. I know he would. I know Tommy would. There's no way.
Now, Mike, he probably, you never know with him. He might be able to talk him into doing it.
It depends on the mood. I'm trying to get him and Joey to do a dog collar match. I still ain't happened yet.
I don't think Mike did tubes either.
I don't
think he would. I know Joey was going to do that one death match, and then it ended up not happening.
Yeah,
so who knows with him?
And real quick, you had mentioned Billy Rock. I can't remember where, but he was coming back to wrestle
here in a couple weeks.
Yes,
Evansville. He's teaming with Billy Stark and a third person. It's a 6-man.
Yeah,
Game Changer. It's Game Changer in Evansville. It's coming up very soon.
Yeah, I think it's the last Saturday of the month. But yeah, he's teaming with Billy Starks of all people and one other, and it's a 6-man.
Cole Roderick.
Yeah, and there's a big name, big up and comer too. He should have made it somewhere too.
He's getting out there doing well. I just worry about his body a little bit. He's doing a lot of those death matches, but he's getting his name out there.
Yeah, he's on Game Changer a lot.
Yeah, he is.
Del Patrick's been on there quite a bit as well.
Yep.
But all right, anything else, Scott?
No, just thank you guys. Thank you guys so much for the time and the platform to speak with you guys on and to interact with your guys' crowd as well. I'm very appreciative of the time.
Hey, no problem.
Yeah,
like I said, you're more welcome to come back
anytime.
And I know we're going to work on some stuff, maybe doing some stuff together. So looking forward to that. And then and all of our fans that have been watching our stuff, make sure you go subscribe for the Heated Shenanigans podcast on YouTube as well. Please hit that subscribe button on YouTube at GonzoSportsRoom. We're moving right up there as well, getting closer and closer to that 1,000.
Yep.
And then like and follow Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, Instagram. That's where I post all the information about our upcoming shows. This Saturday night we'll be in Kokomo, Indiana for AACW, 7 p.m. Eastern, live on YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter.
Expect a great show, and I know Marcus knows this. I think he agrees with me. Probably the best, definitely the rowdiest fans, if not the best fans, but definitely great fans.
I don't think a lot of stuff, but when it comes to fans, AACW is number one in the state, in my opinion.
Yeah, they have, yeah.
They're a
You
rowdy
get-
bunch.
I remember the first time we went there, we were getting flipped off by little kids. I'm like, what's going on
I know,
here?
We weren't even a part of the show. We were
Yeah.
well, I wasn't even announcing. I was just sitting next to you guys, and
Yeah.
I'm getting flipped off. What the heck's going on?
I guess it was because we marked out for Mike King.
Mike King.
As Shane Kalser would say.
Yeah.
He didn't like that.
No, Shane ain't never gonna forget that.
But no, we appreciate everybody watching. This has been GWR. We'll be back Monday with our weekly show. And then, like I said, Saturday, 7 p.m. Eastern in Kokomo, Indiana. We appreciate everybody watching. Hope everybody has a great night.
That'd be absolutely devastating.
Here, this is Joey Owens' show. They've been trying to get me on this broadcast forever, and this is the worst damn broadcast I've ever been on. So you all can kiss my